Life is full of problems. But the real problem is that we are problem-solving machines. And I know you're probably like, what? My life would be so awesome if I didn't have any problems at all. What are you talking about? Gosh, jolly dang gee whiz. Life would be better. And maybe if you didn't have some of your problems, your life would be significantly better, like, say, cancer. But if you got rid of all your problems, you would be so bored. Whoa, whoa. I'm probably thinking, like, no, not really. I would love to have no problems. Oh, yeah? Well, why do you have those little games downloaded on your phone? You gotta solve the puzzles, you gotta fix the things, you gotta match up the thingies. We love those tiny little problems. We love to fix things, we love to match things, make it work. It's all about trying to find what kind of problems you actually want. So I'll tell you a little story. I used to work in web design, but like hardcore. I worked as an art director for a web design company. And let me tell you, the stress of that job was crazy. And for a while, I loved that problem. I loved going into work every day and having those really high stress situations where you're just like, boom, ba-da, ba-da, bang. Yes. Also, taking somebody's branding and making something visual out of it was so much fun for me. It was like its own little puzzle within itself. However, at some point, when I got back to America, I did it for a while when I was just freelancing. And I realized I didn't want that problem anymore. I didn't want the problem of creating something visual for somebody anymore. And I realized this when I finally got so unhappy with it that I just kind of like broke down one day. And sometimes that's the way it happens. Like, you just keep on pushing yourself, like, oh, I can do this, what's the matter with me? I used to enjoy this, blah, blah, blah. Until one day, your heart just screams so hard that you cannot ignore it, and you're crying on the floor. Do you ever solve or do something, and you just get, like, this crazy rush from it? Like, yes, I did it. That's what it's supposed to feel like. If solving your problems starts to feel more like a relief instead of a rush, there is kind of a clue that you're doing something wrong. So there was a study that tracked people's happiness right after winning the lottery and a year afterwards. In the same study, they also tracked people's happiness that had just become completely paralyzed. In both of those cases, either very positive or very negative, the person feels something very strong emotionally for a little while, and then eventually goes back to the same amount of happiness that they had before any of that happened. Which is great news if you become paralyzed from the neck down. There's hope that you're going to be just as happy someday. But it's not about the thing that you're striving for. Once you complete that, your happiness about it is only going to last for a little while. It's not about the destination. It's the journey. So something that I always ask myself, is this the kind of problem that I want to have? And I found that when you line yourself up with what kind of problems you want, you're going to be so happy. There's always going to be problems, no matter what. Once you solve one problem, another one is going to come, and another one, and another one, and another one. Your life is just going to be full of problems to the end. So I would love to hear from you guys in the comments. What kind of problems do you like? What is challenging, sometimes frustrating, but in the end, when you finally do it, it feels so good. What kind of problems do you want?
The problems with you and them.